Hi, I'm Dr. John Izzo, and welcome to Izzo on Purpose, a weekly series dedicated to helping you discover and implement purpose in your work and in your life. Now, today I'd like to talk to you about something that I call the purpose gap. And I believe the purpose gap is one of the biggest opportunities, but also threats in the world of business today. Now, the reason a gap is an opportunity and a threat is a gap is the difference between what people want, what people hope for, and what they're actually getting or feeling is being delivered to them by a business or an organization. And it turns out when it comes to purpose, there is a very clear, what I call purpose gap. And the gap exists both for employees and for customers. Let's start with the gap for employees. About 77% of employees globally say it matters a good deal to them to work for a company they believe in and in a job where they have a sense of purpose. 50% of millennials say they would actually take a pay cut to work in that kind of job or for that kind of company. And a full 37% of the global workforce, almost 4 in 10, are very focused on purpose as a main driver of their engagement and retention. And yet when you ask employees, do you work for that kind of company? It turns out about 3 out of 4, or 75%, say the company that I work for cares mostly about its profits and its own self-interests, not the well-being of its customers, clients, or the greater society. So get the picture? Big gap. 77% of employees say I want it, 50% say I'd take a pay cut to have it, 40% are highly motivated to act on it, but 75% say that's not the company that I'm working for. Now, when it comes to the purpose gap for employees, I don't believe that 75% of companies don't care about the well-being of their customers or clients or the greater society. But the point is the employees don't feel it. They don't see it day in and day out. So those companies that do have a sense of purpose but aren't clearly communicating it, aren't putting it at center stage, are missing a tremendous opportunity to engage their people and to keep them. And of course, if you don't have a sense of purpose, if in fact your company is mostly interested in profits and not the well-being of society or your customers, then you've got to address that. Now, it turns out customers experience a very similar gap. While about 80% of global customers say, I want to buy from companies I believe in that are doing good in the world, it turns out customers have confidence that only about 6% of the companies that they do business with are good. In other words, they want to buy good, but they say, I have no idea if the companies I buy from are actually good. Only 6 out of 100 do I have any high level of confidence. And it turns out that about 33%, or 1 out of 3 global customers, are regularly punishing bad companies and rewarding good ones with their business and with their social media support, but they really can't see that goodness. So again, another tremendous gap or opportunity. So those companies who can close the line of sight to customers, help tell an authentic story that customers can see, feel, and believe in, can make it real and palpable for people, are going to really win in the purpose revolution. And those are the kinds of things that my colleague Jeff Vanderweilen and I talk about in the purpose revolution. This gap, such an important factor and such a great opportunity for wise businesses. So look, I'd love to hear your comments. Tell me how companies have closed the gap for you, either as an employee or customer. How have they helped you to see that they do care about customers, clients, and the greater society? Or where have you experienced that gap as an employee or team member? And what do companies have to be careful of if they want to convince us that it's real and authentic? So thank you. If you're enjoying this, please subscribe to this channel on YouTube so you'll hear every time there's a new video. And in the meantime, check out my site at drjohnizzo.com. That's just drjohnizzo.com, and sign up for regular tips so we can keep in touch. Meanwhile, remember that Purpose Revolution is here, and the only question is whether you and your organization are ready for it. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.